TM has volunteered to teach everybody how to clean their wheel. Since I have never cleaned my wheel, she's going to teach me, and we're going to do this recording so that everybody can learn how to clean their wheel.
And it needs to be done about every 6 months.
Every 6 months.
Because you're changing in humidity and you're changing in usage, so you want to make sure that your wood and your metal stays even, stays nice and tender.
Okay.
Okay? First thing you do is take off everything that didn't come with your wheel.
I already did that. We don't have to take off the lazy cake, do we?
No, that came, well, in its own way, it came with its wheel. Yeah. So I do put the screw back in, that will get cleaned, but that way I'm not losing parts. And then if you have a bag on your wheel, of course you want to remove the bag.
Okay.
So I will set those over here. That's what baby chairs are for. First thing you do is dry cloth your wheel to make sure all the fiber is off. You want to take your ends caps off the Kate and run it down.
Oh, those get oily.
Yeah, they do, because you put oil on your plier rod.
Maybe I should have taken those off before.
They also get fiber on them, so you want to make sure to get into the groove at the end and into each of the threads to get the fiber off.
Okay.
And then if you have tensioners, you want to take those off just like you do everything else. But it came with a wheel, but they took them off. What's going to surprise you is how dirty the back, the footmen get, because you don't look at them that often.
Yep. And all the cat hair.
Yeah, I have cat hair, I have fiber, I have dirt from spinning outside.
Wow. Yeah, look how dirty.
Yeah, it's nice and grimy. Now your wheel itself, you just want to dust down real quick, because you don't want to rub the water that we're going to do first to do a wipe down. You don't want any of that dirt to scratch your wheel.
Okay.
And as you can tell, she has a newer version of the Ladybug. I have the older version. You can tell it by the circles on the wheel. Mine has the Ladybug wing. And the nice thing about Schacht's, if you don't know, other wheels, I think some do it, but some don't, is all of them have the birth date right here.
By the way, if you don't listen to the High Fiber Diet audio podcast, Kagi TM is the hostess of that.
Hi.
And she is, I call her the all-knowing because she seems to know everything. Everything about spinning.
And see, I still consider myself a beginner. Because I don't know all the techniques, and I mean, I can get even yarn, but there's ways of doing yarn that no, I don't get. Yeah, you want to go under too, and then make sure you wipe off your flyer as well.
Okay.
Yours is much cleaner than mine. Yes, we're gonna clean those too.
Well, it's still pretty new.
On the bottom of a Ladybug, you have leather pieces, and those we will wax later to get them nice and supple so that they move correctly.
Is it supposed to do that? It probably just needs to be tightened.
Okay. Mine does it a little.
We'll do that,
but
tighten
not
that
much.
later. Yeah, because I actually lost the screw that came down here, and I had to get another one. This screw. It's not a crack.
Oh,
it's
okay. It's just a design element.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's part of the wood.
So, first thing we're gonna do is just regular water. Now you're thinking it's plywood. Why are we putting water on it? It's warm water.
Okay.
And it's a quick damp, not wet.
Okay. So we're using the
Wet down.
new
No,
cloth,
just because
Another corner?
Yeah, another corner.
and we're just gonna do a quick.
Quick once over. Because we're not going to keep that on. We're going to use, I don't know if you can see down here, we're going to use Murphy's oil soap. We're going to use Wright's brass polish, or you can get Brasso. It's harder to find these days. And then we'll be using wood beams. But really this water is just a quick to get the final coat of dirt off, and for the plastic wheel, because you're not going to put wax on your plastic wheel. If you truly want to clean it, you can take it apart and get all the inside. I do that. I've done it once since I got this, and I think I bought it 2, maybe 3 years ago.
Well, that seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, but my front piece broke, so I was already taking it apart.
Yeah.
Remember that your castle on the front needs to come up because you do move it, and you need to clean underneath that.
Okay.
And
Do we need to take it all the way off?
don't lose your toggle. Yeah, because you're going to have to wax this, but don't lose your toggle screw. Because I have it before. That sucks. This does come out in the back.
Oh yeah.
And you think you're good enough?
How do you get it to come out?
Slide up.
I took it out before. There we go.
There you go.
Okay.
You just don't leave it out because that holds your mother of all. So it'll have to come out and then one more wax in it and stuff. Because if you don't have that, this will fall over and it can damage your wheel. So you take this one in and out when you're cleaning.
Okay.
So our next step is the Murphy's oil soap.
Okay.
So
New cloth?
we want a wet cloth for after. So we're keeping this for a wet cloth. So new cloth.
Okay. New cloth.
And just dip a corner. The Murphy's oil soap is the back one.
Okay.
And I get the kind that's ready done. You don't have to mix it with water. It is the squirt and mop.
Oh, okay.
You can get the kind that you mix with water and then you have to figure out equivalents, and yeah, this is easier.
So you're just gonna wipe it on there?
Yeah, kind of, if you have footprints, because sometimes you get footprints, kind of scrub in those places that are dirtier. But you're going to see it foam up some. And you can tell a wheel that hasn't been cleaned often because the footprint stays there when you buy a used wheel. And you can, here's mine. I can't really show on the video, but you can see it. There's a crack running down. It wasn't taken care of in wax before I got it.
Okay.
No, you bought yours new.
Right.
I bought mine used. So it's just little things you have to watch for when buying a used wheel. Not that it can't be fixed, because anything wood can be, well, pretty much anything can be fixed with a little bit of tender loving care.
Yeah. Well, we all know that my husband is quite a woodworker.
Yes. Yeah.
If you hear background noise, we're at Knitopia, by the way. And everybody else is just knitting away.
Anything like a pickle?
No, I left my pickle at home, thank you.
That's why
I know you can edit.
I'm not editing that.
explicit.
way, if you do decide to listen to mine, I have an explicit tag for a reason.
Runaway parts.
Yep.
This is a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
It's scary the first time you do it because you're like, oh my god, I'm putting water on my wheel. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no. You know, trees get wet all the time, and it doesn't hurt them.
They actually like it.
Yeah.
You just have to make sure that you're not soaking your wheel.
I did not, but I just got measured at, I went to a doctor and I just got measured and I have lost tremendous. More than,
Now we do the same thing with the whirls, right? Are we going to do the
Yeah.
clean the whirls too?
Yep.
and I only lost according to the doctor.
The next step for me is always the brasso because we want to clean all the metal parts. But if we want to do the wheels and the flyer now, because you're still wet, so you do your wipe down.
On the bobbins?
Yep. And I take off all my leaders.
Well, see, I don't have wood on mine
Okay.
because they're for the
Woolly
woolly winder. I'll just have to clean this part.
Like I
Yep.
get with the group that they're just really down about it.
My leader doesn't.
And so I,
So we're gonna do exactly the same thing that we've done for the
Yep.
the wheel so far.
As we let this sit and dry because we
Okay.
don't want to put the wax on it while it's wet.
Okay.
So there's methods. I may be mad, but there's a reason I do it in order.
Nobody ever says, wow, it looks like you've lost a lot. It's, oh, you're not dying again. I get this nasty attitude.
do they tell you?
That pretty color. Yes. I wonder if it's the right height for a sponge.
It's to the point where you smell your rag
That's wrong.
to see which chemical you were using on which rag.
Oh yeah. This one was the water. Okay, so we're still doing the bobbins.
Yep.
Red or black?
Now, what I did not bring, but you can do at home, is because you put oil on the inside of these, you can take a pipe cleaner
Okay.
and run it on the inside, and it gets that black that was on your cape, gets that black off there.
Okay.
It's right here.
And you can tell you have new wood. Mine's pretty old. Feel how bad these get without, and that's why I do it every 6 months. They get really dry.
Yeah, because these bobbins are less than a year old.
And I'm going to be trying her woolly winder because I haven't played with one yet.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I needed a name tag.
Yeah, I'll find mine later.
Okay. What's the next step?
Your next step, if you have you Murphy oiled your wood on your bobbins?
Yeah, most of them. I mean, I'm not going to do all of those.
So you did the water
I did the water.
and then
And the
the Murphy
Murphys,
oil.
right.
Okay, so these are sitting here waiting. And did you do your flyer? Is your flyer wood?
Oh, a little part of it. Not much.
The next step is the brasso.
Okay.
And because you're only using one corner of this, you can either just switch it over.
Okay. It has a distinct smell so that you're not going to use the same corner by accident.
Exactly. And this is more of a paste. And you just want a little bit. You want to put it on all your metal parts, your hooks, your ends, your screws, your cate, anything that's metal you want to brasso. And then brasso is a paste, so you're not going to wash it off, you're just going to really, well, you will wash it off, but you want to really scrub with it. And just rubbing on here, you can see how black.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's just that little piece. Because I put a lot of oil on that one.
You're using 30 weight oil or sewing machine oil on your wheel. So yeah, it's gonna, as it heats, it carbonizes.
Okay.
And I mean, it's good that it comes off that black. That means that you're oiling it enough. And you don't have hooks. I don't know how you clean a woolly winder. I'd say, yeah.
Yeah. The woolly winder, they give you instructions on how to clean that when you buy it.
Okay. For mine are all brass hooks, so I just run this over. And then before I set this down, so it doesn't wait too long, I do take the water cloth and rinse it off.
Are you supposed to rinse it off?
The brasso, yeah.
Okay. So I should be doing that with this too?
Yeah, because you're rubbing it in. You do want to just give it a quick rinse to get the rest of the paste, because it's not like wax that you can leave on.
Okay.
And you don't want it to corrode with your oils that you're using.
Okay. And I could see that it looked like it dried a little bit. You could see it.
Yeah. On the white paste. If you have the hooks, don't worry if your hooks spin a little bit. Just straighten them back out. If they do pull out, I have heard that it is okay to use a super glue to stick them back down.
Okay.
Because I know the woolly winder's all the rage, but there are us old school people that like the hook or the slider or...
So, and I'm going to go through and do all of the...
Well, the tops, I basically, wipe it on, wipe it off. Because you don't want it down in the little part.
Yeah.
And there's nothing toxic to where you're going to need gloves or anything to do this, unless you're sensitive to different soaps.
Now, what about these parts back here? This part too that you're gonna do the brasso on too?
Just not on the rubber piece.
Okay.
And you want your little screw heads to look good.
Yeah, make them all shiny.
Yeah. You also have a spring. You want to make sure there's no fiber in there.
Okay.
We're not going to wax or anything, just make sure there's no fiber.
How do you just...
I just pull it up with my fingers and you'll feel little bits come off. Some things it's just simple. Okay, then we will take the third cloth.
The third cloth.
And we'll set aside everything that is liquid, because we don't want to accidentally dip in the wrong container. My favorite wax, there's a lot that you can get. My favorite, not that I'm being paid for them or anything like that, is Wood Beams. It's by Goodies Unlimited. Rub it on, wait a bit, and then buff with a soft cloth for a satin finish. Wonderful for all wood, even wood food surface. So I put it on my wooden cutting boards. Cutting boards, there we go. It contains beeswax, vegetable oil, and essential oils.
Where can you get that?
Goodies Unlimited.
Okay.
Yeah, .com. And it smells amazing.
Oh, wow.
But it is a very thick wax. So in order to use it, you can't just dip.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's very thick and very hard. You can't just dip your cloth into it. So I get a good amount and put it on my cloth. Now, I've had that probably 2 years, so yeah, it lasts a while.
You just put it on there?
I just put it on, and then I start massaging it into the wood.
Okay.
And I like circles, not straight, because you have wood grains. And you want to get into the wood grain, so you want to go against the grain, but with it at the same time, so circles work.
Okay.
And you're just putting a coat, you're not rubbing it to the point where you're buffing at this point in time. And you will see that you're going to get more dirt with this wax even though you washed it.
And will I run out quick, or am I putting too much on?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Wish I could get it to pop out. It's spinning, it might pop out soon. Make sure to get the edges where the layers of wood are.
Uh-oh, I got too much around the edge.
Okay, just wipe. It's just wax. Because even though those layers of this plywood is put together pretty good, you don't want any splitting.
Right.
The wood beams is also great. When I said we were going to wax the leather, if you have a wheel that has leather up here on the castle area or anything, wood beams work well on the leather to keep it conditioned.
Now, are we worrying about getting any of this stuff on the screws and stuff?
No.
Because it'll just wipe off.
Yeah, because we're going to buff it later. This isn't really a chemical thing, it's a beeswax thing.
Okay.
We were just emailing.
What I do at home is I do this at night so that it can sit overnight before buffing, and that way it gets a deeper soak.
Okay.
I do put the wood beams on the leather. If you don't have wood beams and you're just using a, I forget which kind of wax Schacht recommends, but I think they call for white lithium down here
Oh, okay.
on the leather.
All right. But wood beams works just fine?
Oh, wood beams works perfectly on the leather. It's a natural conditioner with the beeswax.
Okay.
So no problem. So now that we have that all waxed, we're going to take the other end of our cloth that's nice and dry,
Yep.
and I suppose you're just going to pull it off.
Okay.
So the longer you let it set, the deeper the wax is.
I see.
But, I mean, you're going to see where you've waxed and where you haven't, and you're going to see where you've buffed and where you haven't, because the wood beams really gives it a sheen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that.
And if you don't get it all off, you know, it isn't going to hurt it, because it's just going to soak in longer.
Right.
It's just, I normally mainly hit where you're going to collect dirt. The bottom of the wheel, the treadles, your handles.
Yep.
You really want to make sure those are waxed well, because the more wax it has on it, the more of a buildup you'll get from dirt.
Okay.
And as you can see, I'll tip mine up. You see that there? Yeah. My footprint's gone.
Okay.
So you can tell just by cleaning, because I spin either in socks or barefoot. I don't wear shoes. But if you go out to the park and spin, you're collecting humidity, your wood contracts and expands with moisture and with heat and all that. So you want to keep it conditioned. You want to, like, I do this every 6 months. It's just, I flip my stash every 6 months, and I do my wheels every 6 months. Now I also have a PVC wheel that's easy, soap and water, and brass up.
Okay.
So I mean, it depends on your wheel. If you have a Lindrum or a Louette, I believe both of those are sealed, so they have a varnish on them.
Okay.
So you're not going to do the waxing and all that, it's just a wipe down.
Okay.
You do want to keep it oiled. You may want to hit the brass points of your flyer with Brasso and then wipe it off. And that is all there is to. Of course, you do your flyer and your. I don't, as we were talking when it was possible, I don't wax my flyer because you get enough lanolin off your wool as you're spinning it
Okay.
that you shouldn't have a problem with it. I do wax the outside of my bobbins, and if the insides are dry, then I will wax them.
Okay.
Just because the spinning process releases the lanolin in the wool and, gets it going and pulling out. Depending on what kind of, you can get dry wool, but, that doesn't work. And there are spinners that believe in spinning in the grease once a year to get their wheels lubed up.
And what is that?
Spinning in the grease is raw fleece, unwashed. You'll wash it once to get the VM out,
Okay.
but it's a cold wash, so you're not getting the lanolin out of it.
Okay.
And some don't even wash. They just pick it over with a comb and just spin from there. Like
Sounds pretty gross.
if they're doing sheep to shawl,
Yeah.
that's how it is.
Oh, okay.
That's how they're able to spin it that quickly at a fiber event.
All right. That's all?
That is it. And just, care and maintenance, it's, you wash your car. This is your tool.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for teaching me how to do this because this was the first time that I ever did that, so.
You're welcome. And do it often.
Yeah.
Do you want to give names of the products again, or do you?
Sure, yeah, let's do that. So we've got the Wright's Brasso Polish, and where can you get something like this?
I picked it up at the regular grocery store.
Okay.
In the cleaning aisle.
Okay, and the same thing with the Murphy's Oil Soap Squirt and Mop.
Yep.
Okay, so those are easy to get. And then we've got the wood beams that can be purchased at goodiesunlimited.com.
Yes, and then you want at least three lint-free cloths.
3 lint-free cloths.
So I just use old washcloths that you're not using anymore.
Very good.
Yep.
All right, well, thank you again, and
You're
I hope this helps everybody else. And again, if you do not listen to the high fiber diet, Kagi is amazing. She knows so
thank you.
much. She knows so much. I mean, every single episode that I listen to, I learn something, and I'm jotting things down, and it's amazing. If you spin or knit, you want to listen to her
And
podcast.
no, I will never go video. This is as good as you get on me video. Sorry.
But there's a lot of information that she provides, so definitely. All right, well, thank you so much again.
Thank you. So you're talking.
I'm talking. I don't know what I'm doing.
The intro, whatever.
Oh.